Hi, Vivek, and thank you for taking time to speak with me in my pursuit towards creating content on people who've actually found their purpose and are pursuing it actively. Um, the segment is going to go in this way where I'm going to ask you for a short bio yourself and then ask you a few questions which are related to you personally, who Vivek Sharma is going to be, I mean, has been in the past and who he is now, what his future is, so on and so forth. Okay. So to
Okay.
begin with, if you could give me a quick 2 to 3 minute snapshot of who Vivek Sharma is and what makes you tick, what makes you wake up in the morning and go about life and go about the day with energy and work.
Hey Siddharth, thank you so much for having me for this discussion. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for the great work that you are doing for your community. It's always pleasure to work with people who are inspiring entrepreneurs to achieve their, success journey. So, short intro about myself for those of you who don't know me. Hi, my name is Vivek Sharma. I'm a sales accelerator and automation expert, and I'm the founder of Sales Accelerator Hub. I'm kind of a kids next door to you guys. Okay, I come from a small middle class Hindu, family from a small town in Uttar Pradesh called Renupur, with a vision to help entrepreneurs to achieve the growth and abundance that they deserve in return of the great service that they are doing for their customers and in turn the overall humanity. So my vision is to take entrepreneurship to each and every single household in our country. So here's what my observation is, that most businesses fail today because they lack the simple sales processes to drive traffic and generate sales. And I want to empower those entrepreneurs to accelerate sales. And that is why, Siddharth, my mission is to help 100,000 entrepreneurs to build a super profitable business using the power of automation, because I believe the current old age sales process is cannot future-proof new age digital businesses. That's why I stand with the new age digital entrepreneurs, because I believe they are the ones who can actually serve people with a greater vision and transform the economy without coming into the limelight. And they deserve to be profitable. And that's why I have created my own coaching system with a formula that can help them with that.
Awesome. Awesome. It sounds really good. I mean, it's inspiring to see that you're actually fighting for those entrepreneurs who haven't figured out what sales processes mean. And I don't think there can be anyone better who, has understood the industry, has created their own sort of a sales automation process to teach them. I mean, that's awesome. Kudos to your spirit and your endeavor as well. So, Vivek, getting to the next question, why sales? What drove you towards this particular line of profession, and why is it something that you have been taken as, you've taken as your mission itself?
Okay, so
Vivek, am I audible?
sales. Yeah, I can hear you loud
Okay.
and clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if I tell you why sales in one line, Siddharth, I believe that everybody is doing sales, from the moment then, when they take birth until the moment they, pass their soul. Okay. So for me, sales is not just a transactional business. Okay. So when I decided to become an entrepreneur, I was glad enough
Mm-hmm.
to get right support and mentorship. And my mentor told me, because I was not having any previous background, I'm the first generation entrepreneur in my family. So my mentor told me that if you want to become entrepreneur, you need to figure out a problem that you are facing first in your life. Okay, that should be it should be like a pain point to you, and that problem should be faced by a lot of people around you. Okay, so I just observed my life and I figured out that most of the people are not happy in their life or business per se, just because they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to communicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we as a people understand that how we can listen to the other person and respond instead of reacting, most of the problem would be, solved like this. And that is where, that's when I understood that sales is not just about the transaction of money versus value. It's about understanding what the other person actually wants from you and how you can, cater to that need. Okay. So like I was giving example that we start selling from the moment when we take birth. For example, the moment, child take birth, their parents tell him or her to do, something. They teach them how to walk, how to talk, how to stand. So they are selling at that moment. Okay. When the child goes to some job interview, I mean, for some school, so teacher over there, teaches him or her that you should, be disciplined or moral values. At that moment, also the teacher is selling to the child. When we go for the job interview, then at that moment we are selling ourselves to the panelist. Okay, if everything goes fine, the panelist sells that why we should work with their company. So at that moment they are selling their company to us. So selling is, it's not just a transaction of value versus money, as most of the people think. But I believe selling has got to do with what, how you can share your feelings, understanding what the other person actually needs from you. The moment you understand that, selling in business just becomes a game. So that's how, I understood that selling is something that comes naturally to me, because I was having no background, of sales. I come from engineering background, that too also of instrumentation, transducers and all. So so it's just that when I understood that the current education system failed me, to be very honest, and in order to achieve something big in life, the only option I had left was entrepreneurship. Okay. And in entrepreneurship, the only thing I was naturally good at is communicating with people. And that's where I, decided to get into sales. And then everything started falling into its place, like me getting my first sales job out of nowhere. And all the journey have been, phenomenal so far.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. When did you learn that this was actually your calling? When did you realize that, besides being a salesperson or a person who's actually been driving sales for companies, when did you realize that teaching other people how to sell, either it's themselves or their product, whatever it is, how did you realize, what made you think that, okay, this is a signal for me from a person, the universe, whatever it is, that this is my calling and this is something I need to pursue now and start serving others?
Okay, that's a very good question, by the way. And I understand that, most of the entrepreneurs and marketers out there, they have this epiphany moment, as we call it. This term I learned from my mentor Russell Brunson. That epiphany means, for those of you who don't know, epiphany means the moment of realization. So I have a bit, a slight different approach towards it, because I don't believe that there is a single moment of realization that drives entrepreneurship journey. To be very honest, Siddharth. Okay? Definitely, we tend to get, those small signals in our way, to achieve our vision and help people in the process. But I believe those small moments are actually the signals. For example, if I ask you, when was the time you realized that you actually, fell in love with your wife? Or when was the time you actually realized that, you have an amazing kid and you should love him or her? You have a daughter, you told me. So you got my point, right? So there is no single point, my friend. I mean, there is no single moment. It's just that those, small moments that you shared with your wife, that we share with our kids, okay, actually bundle up, and that is actually the true love, as we call it. And same happens with business also. Business is no different. We must love our business, our clients, the product that we are having, and most importantly, our vision. Okay, so that's what it is. I always knew that entrepreneurship is the only way for me to get a good life for my family. And coming from spiritual background, I have always been inclined towards serving people. I believe there is a greater energy, and it actually serves its own creation through us. And that's how I started my entrepreneurship journey only. But always there are small moments of magic that fuels us and guides us in the process. So the magic is in the small moments. That's my one liner for
Okay.
that question.
Okay. That's interesting. So, I mean, I totally agree with the fact that there is not necessarily one big moment or one aha moment where there is an epiphany that happens and then you realize it could be multiple small ones or multiple big ones for all you know. The other day I was speaking to another gentleman and he mentioned that sometimes the universe slaps you in your face and sometimes it just comes and whispers in your ear, and then there is the thing in between as well, that one is the extreme where it slaps you in your face or hits you on your back, and the other one is a very subtle message every now and then, and there's a lot in between. The spectrum is very wide, and it depends on different people how they are listening to the universe, listening to the messages that they've been given, right? And I like the fact that yours is an amalgamation of many things put together, and then one day you do realize that, oh, so there were so many messages that were thrown at me, and this is what I need to do. Right? That's a good way to look at it. And different people are going to perceive it differently. Different people are going to take it differently as well. Now, so my next question is going to be for a newcomer. Let's assume there is a 24 or 21-year-old kid or a person who is in their 50s, 60s, doesn't matter, but newcomer to the point that, okay, they've realized or they've gotten a big hint or a small hint saying that, okay, this may be something that is my calling. How do they respond? How do they confirm that this is something that they are that this is their calling? Or like, if you were to be in that particular situation, what would you do to confirm yourself that, okay, Vivek, this is my calling and I need to take this forward now? Like, what would be your steps to sort of take this to the next level and confirm to yourself that this is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, or at least for the foreseeable future? And what would be your recommendation as in a step-by-step process, if you could, please?
Okay. So your question is that how can we understand that the message that we are getting from the universe or the our surroundings is the message
Yeah.
worth acting upon? Am I right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'll tell you, I mean, the best way to answer this question is how I actually got started in this journey. Okay. So I believe there are two aspects to answering this question. The first and most important thing is your intent. Okay. Intent of doing anything. If you talk about business, your intent should be of helping people. Okay. So most of the people who start any endeavor, business or anything else, the intent is self-centric. Okay. Because that's how our conditioning is actually. But the moment we shift our intent from ourself to a cause or a vision that is beyond ourselves, we start getting signal from the universe. So I'll tell you what happened with me. I have been following spirituality back in my corporate days only, and that leads to me the second to the second part of this question, that you should also have a spiritual background. Okay. Because actually the reality is, like I told you, the universe is getting its job done through multiple
With you.
resources, right? Yeah, it can be me, it can be you, it can be anybody. So it is constantly throwing signals to everybody. Okay. It's just that are you able to pick it up? So the first part, you should have the capacity to pick those signals, because I notice most of my friends tell me that they are not getting right direction in their life, or they don't know how to, what to do, how to do all that things. And I tell them that nature is actually, throwing the signals, but are you willing to, take note of that?
Respond.
Respond to that, right? So
Yeah.
that's where the
Yeah.
spirituality helped me a lot. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll tell you. I'll just give you a quick, background story. I was trying multiple ventures back in my corporate days. I worked for around 4+ years, as a sales manager in two different companies. And I also tried multiple endeavors. I tried network marketing, I tried affiliate marketing. I also tried providing coaching services, and I also tried a venture where I can, help young entrepreneurs and experienced folks to bring in the same platform, like Quora for entrepreneurs. But I was not getting the breakthrough. And I'll tell you, I quit my job last year around July 2019. And you won't believe, Siddharth, that I used to get signal before that as well. But just 1 month before, me quitting my job, I used to get a lot of signals. Okay. Yeah, and I understand most of the people, few of the people who watch this video may not get it today, but definitely after let's say after a few years, after 5 years or 10 years, you'll understand this. So what happened between mid-June and mid-July, I used to get signal, you won't believe, like in moments, in every moment. The moment I wake up, I decide to open my laptop to, complete any project. Okay, light went off, right? The moment I decide to, leave for my office, I hurt my toe, things like that. Okay. So so all these subtle signals actually compounded in just 1 month of time spent, and actually it kind of pulled me to take this decision of pursuing entrepreneurship as a full time. Before that, also I used to get signals, but I used to ignore it because of my so-called comfortable lifestyle. But that's how it starts. Okay, you should have a spiritual background. That is first and most important thing, and the intent. Because if you may receive the signals if you are a spiritual person, but in order to understand that signals, in order to comprehend that signal and pave a right direction as a next step, you should have a right intent of serving people with your idea or with your business. Resources, whatever you have. Exactly.
Interesting. Cool. That brings me to the last question, or sort of a bunched question of who are the people that you follow? They could be international and Indian. And what are the books that you would recommend to someone who is, sort of lost and doesn't really realize what their true purpose is? Like, do you have any of those book recommendations or people recommendations that people should ought to listen to or watch videos of or read books of? And what has helped you?
I believe I cannot tell other people whom to follow because it's very subjective decision. In one line, you can follow anybody whom you resonate with. I read the book which I resonate with. I follow the mentors whom I feel connected, towards. And same goes with you, I believe, as like you told. So I can only tell you what books helped me in the process.
Yeah.
Okay. There were multiple books, but if something comes on top of my mind is one book that is called You Can Sell by Shiv Khera. That book I read back in my college days, and that only gave me a insight of what is actual sales. Like I gave you example of we are selling at each and every moment. Okay. Before reading that book, I just thought, sales is the guy who pops on my door with a red tie, white shirt, and selling pens and dictionary bundles, right? But after reading that book, I got a bulb-on moment, that sales is way more than just a transactional business. That was first book. And another book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah, that helped me to have a right business mindset. Okay, because it's all about the mindset. So that book was also very much beneficial. And after that, I read a number of books, but these two books I always recommend for someone who is just getting started. Okay, if you want to understand the secret behind sales, read the book by Shiv Khera, You Can Sell. And to have a right business or entrepreneurship mindset, you must check out that book of
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. And the mentors which whom I resonate with, the first name which I always mention everywhere is Sandeep Maheshwari. He helped me
Okay.
to think beyond, my limited belief that, I come from a
Mm-hmm.
service background, a job mentality, so that will be my reality, so to say. So he helped me to
Mm-hmm.
understand what is entrepreneurship all about. So he has been a very big inspiration for me. And
Okay.
I also follow a couple of mentor in business. I actively follow Russell Brunson because I come
Okay.
from sales automation background,
Yes.
so he helps me with
Sure.
all the techie stuffs. I follow Siddharth
Okay.
Rajshekhar,
Of
who
course.
helped me a lot to rewire my mindset, figure out,
Mm-hmm.
understand the game of focusing on niches, and
Mm-hmm.
create a coaching business. And I
Okay.
also would like to name Rajiv Talreja for helping me
Oh,
understand the importance of having a mentors in our life. Because
yeah.
before attending his program, PACE program, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying multiple things like I told you. But when
Okay.
it's very simple thing that if you are planning to do something, let's say you want to learn how to hit a ball, you must have someone who is a very good batsman. As simple as that.
Sure.
So he
Sure.
made it very
Sure.
simple. He told, if you want to learn how to be a successful businessman or how to get into coaching
Mm.
business, follow someone who is doing that.
Learn from.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, these are the few names that I always, I'm always grateful to, and I follow them till date.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Sounds good, Vivek. Well, thank you. Thank you for being on my content creation path. And I hope that this video helps you as well, where we create content together. And maybe this is not the first and last time. I hope we interact again and we can share a lot
Sure.
more with your audience and my audience as well. And sales automation is definitely something that a lot of people ought to be trained on, whether it's for themselves or for their organization. It's something that is super useful.
Sure. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much,
Vivek.
Siddharth, for having me on this call. I love the depth of your questions, and I hope your community will be getting a right value out of it, and all the people who are watching will
Absolutely.
also, understand the importance of whatever we discuss in the call. So thank you so much again.
Absolutely. Thank you. You have a great day. Bye,
Thank
Vivek.
you. Bye bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.